What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Love After Lockup. I had to think about what show I'm talking about, you guys. This is Love After Lockup. This is season 4, episode number 5, you guys. This episode is titled Get Right or Get Left, you guys. So before we go ahead and jump to this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on my channel and are not subscribed to the channel, I'm gonna need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me foot the bill at the end of it. You guys know you can do that big favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out the way, without further ado, let us go ahead and discuss Love After Lockup, shall we? Alright, you guys, so sorry this video was late. As you guys can see, I'm in a different place. I'm at my cousin's place. Long story short, I was not able to watch last night. Actually, I tried to watch last night's episode, but I went to sleep. You guys just saw a plane fly over. We're not far from the airport. But long story short, this has been a trying week for me. You guys know I'm working, so I'm happy about that. But this week was supposed to be payday, and guess what? Guess who didn't get paid? This guy. He didn't get his first paycheck. So unfortunately, right now, I don't have, my side hustle that I had been doing. I put that on pause thinking, hey, you finna get a big check this week and you ain't really got to do much with you, because you guys know I do Uber on the side, right? So I didn't do really well with Uber this week. Actually, I did do pretty good with Uber, but the money that I made, I had already spent that on other things. I made about $500 in between Monday and Friday, right? And I was like, I had spent that money and I was thinking that I was going to get my check this week. So I was like, 500 plus my paycheck. I'm like, nigga, you gonna be set going into the weekend, right? That ain't the case. So I have to wait until sometime next week before I get my first paycheck, right? Cause I don't know, they sent it to a wrong account and I don't have that account number. The account number that was on my paycheck stub is not my account number. So I gotta wait for my bank to send it back to my job so that they can then reissue the check to me. So it's just been a shit show, but I'm good, you guys. I'm good. But let's talk about this episode, shall we? So let's start up with Kevin, Tiffany, and Curtis, you guys. So this episode, we picked up where we left off. And you guys remember last week's episode, Kevin went boom and knocked the shit. I'm like, damn, how hard was that hit? Because Curtis, when he went down, I'm like, damn, nigga, how hard did he hit you, right? And then I think the reason why Curtis, because Curtis, you could see him, it's like he's spaced out, right? And I think the reason that it looked like Curtis spaced out is because Curtis hit the concrete. And I'm like, God damn. Because he was bleeding and then he had a knot on his forehead. I'm like, damn. And if you look in his interview, you guys, you can see that big ass knot that's still on his forehead. That ain't funny. Yes, it is. So, Kevin got in his car, right? Kevin was like, shit, I'm about to burn out on y'all, so fuck this, right? So he did that. I didn't even realize that there were cops there. I'm like, wow. So the cops didn't try to stop him from leaving at all? It was interesting to me, right? Very interesting to see that. So then he called his mom. He told his mom, like, Mama, I'm about to go to jail because I laid this motherfucker out. And he ain't lying. He laid that motherfucker out. And then you see him, he takes the cameras down and all that kind of stuff, right? So then we see, the paramedics and everybody, they come and check on Kevin. Not Kevin, but Curtis. Curtis is good, right? And then we see Tiffany, right? We see Tiffany later in the episode. So Tiffany, at this point, she tells Curtis, like, hey, I'm not going to go with you. I'm like, you not going to go with him? He came to pick you up. Your other dude came and laid him out on the ground and you ain't finna go with him. That's fucked up. So after Curtis left, guess what Tiffany did? Tiffany called up, what's his name? Kevin, and told him to come pick her up. I was like, Tiffany, you got your nerve. But I figured out why she said come get her, right? Because Tiffany was kind of turned on by the fact that he knocked out, old boy. I'm like, ain't that fucked up? You got turned on by the fact that he knocked him out. Here's the thing that I have an issue with, right? So Kevin is upset with Tiffany, right? But I'm like, Kevin, your ex is in the picture, so how are you upset with her? Your ex-girlfriend is in the picture. Your ex-girlfriend is gonna cause some issues going forward. So please meet Kettle. Like, that's what I was thinking. Like, meet Kettle, because you ain't got no room to be upset. But that's that, you guys. So we're going to pause here, you guys, and we're going to move on forward. All right, you guys. So I'm talking about the new couple that we were introduced to, Chaz and Branwen. I was like, okay. Chaz, he's in the heavy metal band. He also does customer support, right? So Chaz tells us he met Branwen when, well, she's been in prison since the whole time that they've dated, 2 years to be exact, right? He met her online, right? He's only saw Branwen in person one time, and he tells us that he's 5'5", so most women overlook him, and I would imagine so, right? No shade, but I'd imagine so, right? So then, he tells us that she is in jail for aggravated identity theft. He says it's not what you're thinking. I'm like, I don't care how you flip it, rub it, put it down. Identity theft is what? Identity theft. You can flip it, you can mix it, you can master it. Identity theft is identity theft, right? He said that the aggravated thing is because she did it so many times. Again, I don't give a damn how many times she's done it. Identity theft is identity theft. You can't flip it, screw it. You can't do anything with that. That is the same damn thing, right? He tells one of his friends that he gives her an allowance every 2 weeks. I'm like, damn. Because these prisoners, when you literally sit and think about it, these prisoners be getting buku amounts of money out of these people that they be talking to out of that's in the free world, right? I'm like, damn. Should I have went to prison and got a prison pen pal to send me some fucking money? No. So then we see Chaz. He went to go see his sister. Now I didn't get his sister's name, but he tells his sister like, hey, I'm getting ready to go pick up Branwen from jail. I keep wanting to say Bronwyn so bad because that's just, when I saw that, I was like, is this Braun? I just want to say Bronwyn so bad. But he tells us he's going to pick up Branwen, and his sister, she's worried about Chaz, right? She's worried that he might be getting used and played, right? So then she's like, so what is the plan when she gets out of jail? Are you going to move there, or she's going to move here? So now I don't know where Branwen is, and I don't know where Chaz is, right? But he says that she's going to move there with him, and that they're going to get married. Now here's the thing. Chaz told us he's been married 4 different times, right? So the first wife, I think he said they were married a year. The second one, they weren't married that long because she had some ways that he didn't like. The third marriage, no. First one, they didn't get along. They were together for a year. Second one, they couldn't get along. I forgot what he said about the third one, but I know the fourth one, he said that, she fell victim to opioid addiction, right? And he found her lifeless body. I was like, oh. And then he said he didn't even get to say, he loved her. I'm like, oh, that is so sad, right? That is really sad. Dude, with your track record with marriage, I would say don't get married. I would say marriage ain't for you, my friend. It's not. Just gotta say that. It ain't for you. It ain't for you. So Branwen did call him, right? And she was able to talk to his sister, and his sister says, so with my brother, are you using him basically for what you can get? And Branwen was like, no, she's tired of doing the same old, so she wants to do something. She wants something different. Cool, we got that. Ouch, my knuckles just popped, you guys. All right, guys, so let's pause here and keep going. Let's talk about Lacey and Antoine real quick. So Lacey and Antoine, it really wasn't much of a scene with them. We saw Lacey. She was making some food to take when she goes to pick up Antoine. So I guess wherever Antoine is, she had to drive to go pick him up. And you guys might heard the little trolley train as well. So by the way, I'm in downtown Dallas. Can't. That's all I'm gonna say. So. But what was I saying? Oh my god! Like I can literally hear these people's cars and the music. I hope y'all don't hear it because that is copyright. Because they are literally somebody's playing lean with it, rock with it. God, I hope y'all can't hear this. because I do not want this video taken down or demonetized because of that. Damn. Lacey, like I said, so Lacey, she has to drive to go pick up Antoine, and she's gonna get a hotel room, right? So we see Lacey when she picked him up, and that was all we got. Like, that was literally it for Lacey and Antoine. There really wasn't much with that scene. So I'm gonna pause here, you guys, and keep moving. Next up, let's talk about Kayla and Martell real quick, right? Child, is this something with the Martells? Because I mean, this Martell is, I can't even say he's a little bit more likable than the Martell in Love and Marriage Huntsville, right? Because he's not that likable. He's really not, right? So Kayla, we see Kayla as she's trying to call Martell, right? And is going to voicemail. She's not surprised by that, right? So they really haven't had a conversation since he left, and she doesn't even know where he went to, right? So Kayla is in the kitchen. I was like, poor Kayla. Kayla was in that kitchen cleaning it. I'm like, Kayla, your stove wasn't dirty, my love. Like, your stove wasn't dirty. Martell was just looking for a reason to moan, groan, bitch, and complain, and you just got out of jail, my nigga. So calm down with this shit, right? So he finally came in, right? And she's still pissed off, right? He finds it funny. I'm like, girl, you might want to leave him. So she tells him, like, you need to apologize because you disrespected me and you embarrassed me. Like, that wasn't the time and the place to mention a dirty stove, which it wasn't dirty, right? So she starts yelling at him, right? He tells her, you need to lower your voice, right? And with that one, I'm going to give him that. Like, she could have lowered her voice, right? But she was upset, and rightfully so. So then he tells her, he says, I'm hungry. So she says, what do you want to eat? He says, I want some shrimp Alfredo from the strip club. I would have looked at him and said, nigga, really? Didn't you just have shrimp Alfredo when you got out of prison? Didn't your mama bring you some? Shrimp Alfredo ain't that damn good. Go get your own. So then Martell, she left at one point, right? She left at that point, right? So then she came back later in the episode. He was on the phone with one of his friends, and he said to his friends, like, oh, she's back now, right? So when she came in, he was on the phone with the friend. So he hung up, and then they were talking, right? So then while they were talking, he was like, you know what? I will apologize to you. You told me that you told me that I embarrassed you. He apologized for embarrassing her, right? But he says, I'm not going to apologize to you for disrespecting you. Now, I got to be honest with you guys, right? I got to be honest with you. I can kind of respect that. I know Kayla was upset, right? And I know anybody would be upset when you tell someone you disrespect me, right? And then they say, well, I'm not going to apologize for that because I don't believe that I disrespected you, right? But here's the thing. When it comes to an apology, right? Because we always talk about this. Don't say if, don't say but, and stuff like that, right? And my other thing is, don't apologize to a person if you don't mean it, right? Don't say, oh, I'm sorry for doing X, Y, and Z, right? Don't apologize for doing something if you in your heart know that you're not sorry for that action, right? Because that's how I am. That's how I live my life, right? Because, like, oh God, I don't want to say this because I don't know this one. There's a certain person in my life, right, that she and I, we butt heads, so to speak, right? And, she says, I've said some things to this person, right, that have not been the nicest, right? But I meant what I said when I said it, right? And I've told her this person plenty of times that, if you want an apology from me, I can't give you an apology if I meant something, right? I can't, because me saying that I'm sorry when I'm not sorry, that's just like putting a Band-Aid over a bullet hole. It does nothing to it, right? So I respect him for not saying I'm sorry to Kayla when he doesn't fully mean he's sorry. So I'm understanding of that, right? So I'm definitely understanding that. Now, what Martell could have said if he didn't want to apologize to her, right? He could have said to Kayla, you told me that I disrespected you. You felt disrespected, right? It was never my intention to disrespect you. I don't want you to feel that way, right? I don't want you to feel as if I'm disrespecting you. That's not at all what I'm here to do. He could have said that instead of not saying anything at all. If you're not going to apologize, at least say, my intent was never to disrespect. My intent was this. My intent was that. But you don't have to apologize. You can just say, you can just own up to, you can just say, hey, that wasn't my intention. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean for it to feel that way or to come off that way. And sometimes that could settle the situation. Sometimes it can't, right? But he didn't do anything. So you guys, we're going to pause there and we're going to move on. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Harry and Indy. Indy is a space cadet. That's the nicest thing I can say about Indy. She's a space cadet. It's just something off about her, right? So you remember they were going to go see the medium, right? So they sit down with the medium and she says, when she, before they got there, she had a feeling of nervousness and anxiety. You know what? I'm trying to be nice, you guys, and I'm trying not, because I don't want to disrespect anybody who believes in mediums and psychics and stuff like that. I don't want to disrespect, right? But in the same token, it's just like, really? That's what you can come up with, that you sense nervousness and anxiety? That's the best you got, lady? I'm not even a psychic, and I can tell you that I can sense some nervousness and anxiety with Harry. Because that's what she was trying to say it was coming from, was with Harry. She ain't talking about that damn Indy. She's talking about Harry, right? But hey, it is what it is, right? So then they're talking, and she tells them that she's feeling some anger, and Indy's like, and looks over to Harry, right? And then Harry's like, no, she gave you a cue. You said anger. She looked over at me. He says, I'm not angry. I was like, well, Harry, I might not be on this woman's side that much, but I do believe she's right. You are a little angry. You are. Just saying, Harry, you do come off, you're giving that vibe that I might be a little bit angry. I don't know. You guys can tell me how you feel, right? But then Indy asked her about them having kids, right? She says, yes, it'll happen. And see, here's the thing. See, again, I don't know anything about psychics and mediums, right? Because I thought that when it comes to psychics, don't they use the tarot cards, right? If anybody is familiar with that field, don't they use tarot cards? But I do know that, isn't it that the Long Island medium? But see, she talks to dead people, right? The Long Island medium, she talks to the spirits. So maybe this woman was talking to some spirits. I don't know. You guys. So Harry, when they left there, right, Harry got a phone call and he told Indy it was his PO, but then Harry dipped off in the corner and took the phone call. I'm like, Indy, you are literally an idiot. The dude tells you his PO is calling, right? And he dips off in the corner and takes the phone call. That ain't a PO. That's another woman. So then we also find out about Harry, that Harry has a daughter. And his daughter looks exactly like him. That is his twin. She is a spitting image of Harry. She is so cute. She's 5 years old. Her name is Ava. Her mother's name is Fatima. I like Fatima. So Harry asked Indy, would she take him to see his daughter, right? I did see some people tweeting last night like that, talking about Indy taking Harry over to his ex's house, right? Now, me personally, I don't see anything wrong with Indy taking Harry over to Fatima's crib because he has a kid with Fatima, so he has to be around Fatima and their daughter, right? So Indy is like, and eventually, if Harry and Indy are going to make things work, then eventually Indy and Fatima do need to meet each other. But I don't know if this time right here is the perfect time for Indy and Fatima to meet each other, right? So Harry likes black girls. Not really shocked by that. So he said that, he was there when with Ava was born, right? But he's been in prison every birthday and she's 5 years old, right? So Fatima nor Ava went to visit him because I can understand that. Her not wanting her child to be in that and going into the prisons. I understand that. I have so much respect for Fatima. I really do. So Fatima, they sit down, they talk. She asks him where's he paroled to. He tells her he's paroled to his sister's house. She said, how did you get here? He says, my girl brought you. She says, okay. You got a girlfriend. Does she have kids? He says, yes. She has 2 girls. She says, how did you feel about that? He said he didn't feel anything then. He doesn't feel anything now. And I'm like, I can respect it. It's interesting with Harry, right? I like Harry, but then I can also, I like Harry. I will say that I do like Harry, right? But Harry does still have some childish fuckboy ways about him. But I do ultimately like Harry, right? So she was like, oh, also, she told the daughter that he was in superhero school, right? So, they were talking about Ava. So he wants to be able to take Ava with him for a night or 2. I gotta applaud Fatima. She said, fuck no. He says, well, can I come over here and spend some time with her by myself? She said, by yourself? Absolutely. So she wants to know, she's talking to him about him and their daughter and Indy and her kids, right? He says, just because he's around Indy's kid is not going to get in the way of him with his child. He's going to do everything he can to spend time with her. And I do believe Harry. I really do. But you guys can let me know what you think about that. And we are going to move on and wrap up the episode, you guys. All right, you guys. So, Taylor and Chance are the last couple that we are going to discuss. And I have a lot of issues with Chance. I just don't understand Taylor. Like, you are about to let a man come in between your relationship with your sister. Your twin sister at that. I'll be damn, right? I don't even have a twin. I have a little brother who looks like me, right? We look exactly alike, but we're not twins. I'm older than he is. He's 20 something and I think he's like 28 years old and I'm 30, about to be 33, right? So I'd be damned if I'm gonna let, even with my brother that I don't talk to, I'd be damned if I'm gonna let I'm not gonna let any outside forces, let me say that. I'm not gonna let any outside forces come between me and my siblings. And I'm still so uncomfortable with Taylor having Chance in the house with her daughters. It's just uncomfortable for me, right? So then we see Taylor and Chance. They're gonna go out and try to find somewhere that they could have sex. I'm like, you ain't got no money for a hotel room. You working, ain't you? You can't get a nice hotel room for you and your woman. Like, Taylor, you gotta want better for yourself, right? Because you gotta want better. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. And then y'all went and had sex in a cemetery, and then you left Bobby there with the kids, right? So they get back to the house. The girls are running around in the house, right? She's like, did Bobby watch you guys? She said they said she came out twice, depending on how long and it depends on how long they were gone, right? I just have an issue with Chance, right? Chance is sitting here bashing your sister. He's bashing your sister. He's talking shit about your sister. And you not saying anything to defend your fucking sister. I have an issue with that, Taylor. Like, that is your flesh and blood sister. And you letting this raggedy ass man talk about your sister. I got an issue with Taylor. I really, truly do. That's fucked up. And you guys can let me know what you guys thought about that. I know y'all gonna way off in the comment section. But hey, that's it, you guys. Like the video, leave your comments in the comment section below, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, and until the next time, you guys, stay safe, take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll see you guys later. So I'm going to be doing tomorrow, we got 3 videos tomorrow. So I've already taken my notes for episode number 2 of Young, Famous, and African. So you have that, you have Love and Marriage Huntsville, and you will have Power Book 4 Force. So those videos you can if not tonight, you guys can see them early tomorrow morning. But I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.